a good question, but again, before going to that question, I want to kind of on this one. Many times people get involved in these kind of productions and entrepreneurship. The issue of preservation matters a lot.
Right.
Say, for example, this young man produces cassava, or maybe he produces chips. He has to put a plantain from maybe this one in Grand Bassa. He brings them to Bassa, and there's no conservation, no place to preserve them. He doesn't have the technical know-how to preserve them. How does he go about doing it? How do you, as individuals who have institutional knowledge, and you are an expert, how does the institution, Mr. Joseph Son, help in preservation of this kind of produce?
Thank you very much. I think the answer is exactly what we are trying to do. So the point is that you just identify one area that somebody can easily invest in, or bring his minds on. That's a good question. So when there's the production, the cassava, the plantain is produced by the farmer. He probably cannot process all into his product. What do you call the chips? So how do you preserve it? How do you keep the shelf life of that? It's a question that our young people currently studying in the universities and other areas can think about, and you just don't do classroom work. Can you solve real life challenges? The program, one of the aspects of the interventions we do is we, for instance, construct storage facilities to take care of some of these things you're talking about. So we are constructing up to 60 storage facilities in strategic places across the countries that we work in.
Okay.
And so this to solve some of these things, but it's not.
So that question was very necessary.
Yes. It's not. It's not the end of it all. Like my colleague said, there's a lot of space for everybody, a role for everybody to play to bring your imagination, your innovation to solve a lot of these problems. So, good question. There's first way will be storage facilities. It's possible that somebody can think of something else. Somebody who's doing biochemistry can also think of something else how to preserve some of these things. Okay. So the facilities are there. They can make use of it. Somebody can even manage it. Have a pool of selection of the storage facilities and manage it as like a warehousing system. Okay, and make some money out of it. Just to add to what my colleague said, it is not necessary when we talk about access to finance, and our minds are blocked, or it's money, and there's no money from the banks. It's true, like he rightly said, but there are so many opportunities, right? That and one of the ways he described is the going through the back door, and so many. And this is the intention of celebrating the Global Entrepreneurs Week in Liberia, to encourage people to, what's the word, challenge our young people out there to use their mindset, their skill set, their innovation, to think about some of these things. Think about the value chain. Look for a spot in there, find a solution, come out with an innovation, and go in there and support and change lives. That's basically what it's about. And this is what the Partners Program funded by the EU and the Cassava Transformation Project is talking about. There's a mass opportunity in Liberia. There's mass opportunity within the sub region. He spoke about Ghana. He spoke about like Nigeria. We drink beer. People drink beer. Cassava. There's a role in beer. You should think about it. Starch. Starch. So there's so many things. And let me one example before I forget. So branding. There's something branding. You walk in there. You go to this restaurant or shops, and produce have been branded, and everybody wants to have it, right? Chicken has been branded such that you want to have it your birthday. That's what you want to have on your plate.
Of course.
But we have really good food produce from the farm here that all we need to do is also brand it. For instance, so you can brand I'm trying to a common produce here, a Liberian produce, brand it. Give it all the good things. speak to a nutritionist, they will talk about the nutritional importance of that. You know, they say this statement that one apple a day keeps the doctor away. It shouldn't be an apple. Can it be one Liberian coconut a day keep the doctor away? So those are the things we can do to elevate our produce, the Liberian food. You know, I know. So those are some of the things. A lot of things that we can learn from what is happening.
Let me talk to Lawrence Yellow. Yeah. He's an expert, agro-business expert. Just in 1 minute, let's close with you, then we'll open the line, few minutes for the callers if they want to participate. I just want to hear from Liberians across the country because, LBS is widely listened to across the country. There are ideas they want to proffer, maybe to put some suggestions to you.
Right.
And let's say you just in
I think I want to move quickly to talk about the power of the mind.
Okay.
Because if we're talking to our Liberian young people and agripreneurs to see it, there is nothing physical that hasn't been conceived in the mind. Everything that we see around us here, the television, the microphone, the buildings, the roads, everything is the product of the mind. If we want to see Liberian agro businesses move to another level, then we need to push our young people to think creatively in ways that they are solving lots of problems. And not just them to think that our education system should look more at how do we revise the curriculum to look in the direction of what the market is saying. And how can young people in schools are not learning just theories, but they are learning theories and practical that if we say vocational school, how are we transforming a component of the vocational school to maybe call it agro-vocational school, right? So you are going there, you are going to learn entrepreneurship in ways that is going to help you develop, but it's going to help your mind to develop. I think what we need in this country now is to let young people, their minds see beyond their eyes can see. Because the power of the mind cannot be underestimated. And I think that those are revolutions that are happening in other countries that young people can see their mind, their mental astuteness. There is something called the law of mentalism.
Okay.
And if we don't have time now, but I just want to push it out there that young people can go and read on. And if you're not in school, your mind is like a magnet. It can attract creativity. It can attract innovation. You have to push it. You have to get in the middle of it. And the truth is, Jala, we are in a green country that allows you to go even on the go even on the coast, to go in the forest. In anything you lay your hands on in this country, innovation can come out of it.
Look,
we need to push our.
I must admit this. My mother planted cassava just at the backyard in Johnsonville. And the cassava, the two that came from under the sea, one is bigger than your arm. And then she made a dumba and we enjoyed ourselves that day just at the back where you have rocks.
Right. So we need to let our young people go mental, let their minds see exactly what we're talking about. This is not a one-day thing, but this is a process, and that's why these kind of programs are there. Whilst the storage facilities are being created, we need to motivate a lot of young people to say, hey, stop, pause, reflect. And I want to strictly close something on access to finance. And I like, my two colleagues, you cannot discuss access to finance without creating a linkage to access to the market.
Okay.
And not just access to the whole market, but finding a niche, a small sector of the market that your creativity can serve and can serve even better.
And Lawrence, I know you want to talk as long as you want to talk. But let me see if we can open the line for Liberians if they want to participate. Your colleague, Mr. Duncan, is still on the line, but 077-8641-549. At least 2-3 calls can make there for 30 seconds each to ask a question. If now we'll go back to our panelists to close up and we'll ask the question. And I said to you, usually sometimes, well, it is not political, the guys won't call. But there are people who are interested in different discussions. Hello, welcome. You have 20 seconds. Welcome. Where do you call from? Hello?